Alright, welcome to Mohill Mining Supply Company. This is one of our first or second video we're going to end up publishing, I think. This is going to be the Rosewill BTC case. Look at the title. But it's named after Bitcoin mining because it's this beauty right here. This beauty right here is supposed to be able to hold, what, I think 8 graphics cards. So I wanted to take a look at it. First things first is it comes with the key, like traditional servers might. This is going to be where your graphics cards are hanging out. One thing that's not immediately clear to me when I took it out of the box, it's not technically an unboxing, but the box is pretty boring, I'll tell you. This is the cool part. One thing that's not immediately clear to me is that we have some foam in the front here, which would lead me to think that they want me to use this as an intake, but the pictures on the internet indicate that the graphics cards will have the rear end facing out this side. So, and what I mean, rear, I'm talking about the input-output side of a graphics card. I'm talking about where it's usually exhausting. So I don't think I'll have my fans. You hear my almost 3-year-old co-host over there. This is Luke Nuke, if you hear him off to the side. We're doing this video together. Yeah, watching your kids while you do your job. So, the foam is in the front. So, it's as if they want me to use this as an intake, and I gladly will if I can flip the graphics cards around and I can get them exhausting out the back. I don't think it really matters what direction your server is exhausting so long as they're all exhausting the same way and they're not grabbing each other's hot air and sharing it. So yeah, it's a server rack. I have a server coming in, the mail coming off of Amazon. I just decided to go servers when I build my mining rigs because I just want to be able to use standardized equipment and keep it all sturdy and official. Let's take this beauty apart, man. I saved this for the video because I know people dig it. But the packaging on this was good. It was a cardboard box within a cardboard box, and it was safe. It was real safe. I have no doubts that this thing made it through the mail, no problem. It's also just built like a tank, so even without that extra support, I think it'd be fine. Boy, this is actually on there hecka hard, guys. I'm gonna take off the old headset if it gets too tight, but I'll just be able to talk into the microphone. I'll set you guys down. So let's get all this going. There we go. Okay. Almost done. And then let's go ahead. All done. Do you want to get in on this shot? Can I get you in on the shot, Biggie? Are you going to get on the camera? Yo. Everybody. This is Luke the Nuke. This is my older boy. He's going to be 3 in a couple months. Huh, Biggie Big? Alright, you color. And I'm gonna try to learn how to use this server. And hopefully the audience can either text me what I'm doing wrong in the comments or maybe learn if I do it right. I promise that I'll always admit to doing stuff wrong after the fact, and I'll make a video showing the right way because I'm learning this stuff as I go, and I want this to be the best resource it can be for people, these videos here. So, I mean, I have a background in computers, just not mining necessarily. So let's see here. One tip or trick is always find a nice, good, safe place for your screws as you're taking these machines apart. So yeah, small Phillips head to get these guys out. Just glancing, but I don't see anything but Phillips, which is nice because you're not gonna, yeah, you don't need to have any special toolkits for this. They're on the smaller side. I would be careful not to strip them. That'd be like my only concern with these things, but that's all computer gear. So, okay, so just 4 real small case screws holds this guy on. And I checked out the accessory box without the camera running just to see what it came with. And it was just screws. which is good. All the screws are together, and the standoffs. So they just come in like a bag like so. Unceremonious, but exactly what I want, which is just a really simple machine. Simple case. Ah, but dude, how are you going to paint without your canvas? Alright. So, we have the case, or we have the screws, and then we have, let's see what we have for ribbons here. Oh yeah, that's something I didn't really look too closely at. What do we have up in the front here? We have a reset button, a power button, 2 USBs, then a couple of just normal lights. You got your hard drive lights. It looks like Ethernet lights. Oh, that's really useful. That's cool, so you can see if you're sending data without having to look at the back of the rack. Okay, let's see what else we got here in terms of our ribbons and stuff. Yeah, everything that you would think. NIC 1, NIC 2, HDD, power plus minus, reset switch, power switch. And then what do we got here? Okay, oh yeah, a couple USB headers. Well, that would make sense, wouldn't it? And I think that's everything. Yeah, that matches everything that we saw on the front. So, very cool. Very easy. Let's tuck this aside for a moment. And let's go ahead and just look at the case. I mean, there's not too much to talk about. It's a super straightforward case. It's a really good price. They came down a lot since they first came out. But mining is becoming really profitable again at the moment, so I wouldn't be surprised if their price goes back up again. I would recommend jumping on it now if you have any interest. I don't know how long I can keep the prices down below 60 bucks, but we'll try. So what I'm looking at is, I've seen people on the pictures online, they put 3 fans on the front, I thought. Oh yeah, I see them now. There are holes there to do that, it would appear. At least some of them. Thank you, Luke. Then there is a motherboard tray back here, obviously, so that's where we're going to put some standoffs in. And then we have the spot for our power supply. That's right here. And then we have, looks like room for 5 of the 80 millimeter fans. Cool. You know, I wonder if my might put the fans on the flip side of where they had intended people to use it, because I just wonder about my power supply being too big. It's pretty gigantic. So, yeah, and it's supposed to hold 8 cards, so that's pretty good. I wonder if you can flip this around somewhere. No, I really think the cards have to be oriented exhausting out the front. So the foam is kind of odd, and I think I'm going to orient the fans pulling air from the back, pushing it out the front. So basically all of my builds are hopefully going to have to go that way, so that they don't sort of like trade hot air up the rack. So yeah. And as far as I'm planning so far, this guy's going to live toward the bottom of the rack. Okay, that's enough of that button mashing, if you don't mind, my friend. Okay. So this is the inside of the Rosewill case. As you guys can see here, we have room for 5 80 millimeter fans. It's way harder to see because the screw holes are in this black metal, but I've seen pictures of people putting 3 120s up there, but I don't see them. I don't see how they would do that in this case this time. In this case, I'm only seeing 2 holes for maybe 1 fan. Interesting. Yeah, and really nothing on here, which would be weird anyway because it moves. But, you know, I mean, the graphics cards are all going to live here, right? There's going to be 8 of them, and they're going to be pulling in air from this side of the case, and they're all going to, all 8 fans, all 8, you know, 2 fan cards, 16 fans in total, are all going to be pulling fan from one side to the other, but then it's going to make a 90-degree turn and go out. So really, if I have 80 millimeters and then it looks like 2 more back here, if I have that going, then I guess the case should be pretty good. If there's 120 millimeter that I can fit in the front, I definitely will. I do wish I could put 2 or 3 or a couple of 140s or just whatever. But man, I would have even taken just another rack of 80 millimeters. I'm just really worried about the thing getting too hot. But I've never built in a server case before, so that'll be maybe I'm underestimating this design's ability to cool itself down if the middle and the back are totally occupied by intake fans and I guess what would you call this? Not really intake or exhaust, but just more circulation. So, but you know, it looks like I can move this actually if my power supply is just a little bit too giant, so that's pretty cool. I'm actually going to pull it out of the case just to show you guys, and then also I think it'll just make it easier to load up all the fans. I'll just leave that in there. So yeah, I'm going to pull that out real quick. So I'm about halfway through, and I thought I would just pause to say that, take a pause on the fast motion stuff to say that these are going on pretty easy. The cord run is really short. So what I did for this last fan that worked out better than the first two is I just I cable managed in the beginning. So it's a really, really short little cable because, you know, that run is there. I went around the Molex just so that I would have room not to get bunched up. This is the only far one. Doesn't even really, yeah, it's really not even that far. So all your cable mate runs are going to be really short for this bracket. It's really nice this bracket comes out because look how easy it is for me to like just kind of chill and put my fans on here, as opposed to like having to climb in there to do it. So yeah, pretty cool little bracket. It has a 5-pin header with a Molex on it. 5 each of 3-pin headers, which I just bought 3-pin fans anyway because yeah, I just want this thing to run quietly. So I'm gonna get back to work. One interesting thing that I will take a note of is that this is it says fans all the way up to fan 6, and there's room for 5. I'm not crazy. I'm not sure what happens with that 6th one. Perhaps you run splitters off of this one to get to the one up in the front. Oh no, it wouldn't be a splitter, but perhaps the 120 mil will go up front, and that'll plug in here. Yeah, as I say it, that makes the most sense. So we'll see as I keep putting fans in. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna grab the box of screws or the bag of screws that came with it because I did drop one fan screw and don't really care to find it. Okay, so let's get this guy back. And actually, before I even do that, I want to double check that that's actually a spot for 120 millimeter fan to go in the first place. I don't know, it's kind of a weird fit, but let's see if we can get it. I don't know, and it wouldn't fit a 140 either. Yeah, I guess it barely. It's kind of extra wide though, but it like barely, sort of fits now. No, it's just not happening. Yeah, how weird. So it's held in by one. Okay, I don't know, that's really weird, but it's in pretty good. It definitely needs that extension cable. Oh, I had a pack of those just the other day. So just a fan extension cord. It's a 4-pin, but that's fine. We only need the 3. If you're unfamiliar with this difference, what you're going to see is the 4-pin will just take the right 3 pins And you won't have to remember that precisely because there's something I will take a picture of and roll into the B round or B footage or whatever. But yeah, you'll always be able to tell from that where it's gonna plug in. So, all right, let's see how this guy goes back in. And I'm going to choose the forwardmost position, anticipating I'm going to need it from my power supply being gigantic. Yeah, okay, so I found the front. No, I didn't. I'm not even on the frontmost. That's it. I found the frontmost place to screw this in, and that's just what we're going to do. I'm sitting here looking at whether or not this is ever going to be a problem. I'm not liking this fan here, so I'm just, I guess, not going to have a, I don't know. Maybe I'll just have two up front, and I'm going to probably run them on their own set of headers then. But let me see if I can even get it in here, because if only one screw is going to hold it up, I don't see why it shouldn't be two fans if there's two screws to hold it. Like, I don't really understand why it's built that way, because it's definitely not 140 millimeters across. It's more like 121. You know. So, I think I will just do that. Because this is starting to get a little bit loaded up. And maybe it doesn't necessarily need all that on there. So like one Molex is powering 5. And then in this case I'll just split this fan. I'll have 2. Yeah. So here's something I can show you guys. This is the PST fans that Arctic has. We have these for sale. And each size they're around a couple of dollars more expensive than the counterpart without PST. But what I have going on here is I just pigtailed these two guys together. So they only need one outlet in order to run. So what I'm going to end up doing is putting both of these on what is going to be the intake in my build, because oh, but they want 90s for back here, it looks like. Oh, the 80s don't make it. Well. I might just improvise and put these on anyway in a sort of a fashion, but that's good to know. Is good to know. Bring home some 90s too. But that PST feature is cool. It's going to let me pigtail these two guys on without having to do much more than just plug into that 6 slot that I was sort of contemplating. Oh, I was totally tripping. This is made for 80 millimeter fans. I just couldn't tell the angle I was looking at. Okay, well, all the fans are wired up. All the 80s. So how many does this take altogether? 7 each 80 millimeter fans. They're all wired to be pulling air toward the front of the case. These two guys in the back are going to supply some of the intake, but then a lot of it's just going to be passive through the vents like this and through the other vents in the side of the case. Yeah, so a lot of the airflow will just kind of get pulled in. I actually prefer positive pressure cases, but I mean, I've never built in servers. Maybe they're, well, I don't know. I guess 2 120s versus 2 180s. Is it positive or negative? No, those are exhausting. Like I said, if I could flip the cards around, I would have flipped all these guys around, but I don't see that happening because I don't see machine holes that let me bring this thing over here. There's just not. So I think the intention, well, I don't know what the intention is, but I think the best thing to do is keep all the air flowing the same direction, and if that's determined by the direction of the graphics card, then so be it. The rest of the case will just have to follow. Looks good. I'm really happy with this so far. We're still waiting on parts to actually build the mining rig that's going to go in here. So I'm going to call that a day today and just say, okay, cool, we have 9 fans in here ready to keep this thing cold. while it runs. It's a very nice looking case. I've never built anything quite like this, so I'm enjoying that. So far it's way easier than anything I've ever dealt with. Okay, I gotta find the keys to this. Come on. But okay. Talk to y'all later.